if you guys could put in the chat, that'd be very helpful for myself. How many are on the call right now that have their NMLS license? That's a license for to actually, work in the mortgage business. Allows us to take applications and all that other good stuff. All right, cool. John, Paul, awesome. Again, just put if you do, that'd be great. Don't have any NMLS license yet. Taking my test again this month. All right, come on, somebody, let's go. Awesome. Again, if you have your license, just put in the chat that you do, just so I kind of know who's our audience here. Some of you have been invited for a position on our team here. And before we get started though with that, plus at the end, we're going to talk about how to jump in this amazing business, amazing industry, and a lot of opportunity, tons of opportunity. So I'm going to kind of get started right now. So thank you so much for putting that in the comments there. At the end, if this sounds like something that resonates really well with you and you want to take the next steps and get your NMLS license, and we have a great program that we put together that's going to help you accelerate your career in the mortgage industry. So, all right, well, let's get started here. My name is Dave Delgado. I'm President, CEO of Freedom Choice Lending. Just a quick, give you a quick background about myself. You can see right over here, I'm in the middle with that Soul Success book, Volume 2 with Jack Canfield, best-selling author. That was an amazing experience. It's awesome. Also to the right of me is Craig Proctor and Todd Walters. Craig Proctor is the former #1 RE/MAX agent worldwide. Just imagine like 50, 60,000 agents at RE/MAX worldwide. He was #1. Now he coaches agents full time, and he's got a really good proven track record for coaching agents making 6 to 7 figure income, even 10-figure income, like 9-figure, I meant. So 7-8 figure income. Sorry about that. So 7 and 8 figure income. So he's got a proven track record with that. And also Todd Walters to the left of this side is the opposite from the big guy over there. That's Todd Walters. He was top 10 NAR, and NAR is National Association of Realtors. That means in the top 10 of all of the agents in the country, and that's roughly about 1 million to 1.5 million agents, and he's in the top 10 of that. And today he runs one of the most successful real estate companies in the country, and he also coaches agents, and he's got a very proven track record. He's actually coaches. He's Todd. Todd is actually Craig Proctor. I would just consider him his right-hand man. He does a lot for his coaching business. I'm down below that with kind of the short guy standing next to the tall girl right there, getting some awards. I've been featured across the country, and then also Craig Proctor is a point in time where, I was coaching some of his agents on how to make a shift in their business. So I believe that when you surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up, elevate your mind, elevate your goals, and your business will also be elevated at the same time. Myself, I've been in the business since 1996. I've seen people go from zero money to 300,000 in 3 years or less. In the mortgage business right now, it's a great time to get started in this type of career. This is Ride for Red with the American Red Cross that we did last year. That's me on the left side over there. I got the white shirt with the blue. And to I guess my left, which is our right if you're looking at the screen, that's Rudy Kasuma. He's got the little red visor right there. Rudy Kasuma is a former RE/MAX agent, #1 in California, top 5 in the world, right? So some powerful guys that I like to surround myself with, because really this is all about relationships. I'll be honest with you, I never thought this stuff would happen. I didn't really think that it was all about that. But once you start loving what you do and you really find that this is your passion in life, and I think that really what drives you to be around people like that. Again, some more awards. I've been, guest speakers to jump on webinars, coach agents, realtors, lead generators, how to generate business. On left of me, if you're in California, you might know who that is. That's Steve Garvey. Of course, getting more awards. And I believe success leaves clues. Like, when you start surrounding yourself with winners of the game in this business, and more than likely, you just find out what they do and copy it. It's really what it comes down to. In the Downey publication, I'm over here in Southern California. To my left, right over there, he runs the largest Century 21 office in the country. So that's Joe. This is Rudy here. Rudy's got a proven track record, sells well over his career, 5,000 homes, way beyond that now, over $1 billion in real estate transactions. His team just last year alone sold over 1,025 transactions. Year to date, they've already surpassed that number, and he's right here in California. Amazing, right? He's also been featured as an author on TV shows. Inc. 5000 has ranked him as the fastest growing real estate company in California for several years in a row, all the way from 2016. And we just celebrated that another for 2022, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that's Rudy. He's a mover and shaker. He's an up and comer in terms of like dominating the real estate space, right? All the agents that go on his team, they fully train them, fully coach them, mentor them for success, and that's why they have so much success. This is Gary Evans. Same thing about Gary. Gary's been in the real estate game for a long time. He's in Texas, and we're part of his Texas network, where we work together as well as Rudy and his team. Same thing with Gary. Gary's out in Texas, so we also license in Texas as well. That's one of the things about being mortgages is like you don't have to be in that state to do business. That's amazing, right? Whereas real estate, you kind of strapped to your location. It's very hard to do business outside of that. Really, what we're marketers. So I don't just think about this is what we're going to touch on today is about marketing. And when you learn and master how to do marketing, you will receive an abundant supplies of people to do business with you, from the buyers as well as realtors, because you understand marketing. And that's what I am. I'm a marketer. I know how to market and how to generate leads. Just on this one website right over here, check this out. Right over here it says 25,143 leads. We've surpassed that numbers. We've got 2, 3, multiple websites like this. Your Home Sold Guaranteed has over 60,000 leads in their website. We got about 25. It's way over 25,000 now. But we're just marketers. Like, we understand marketing. It's the name of the game. This is how you survive. This is how you market proof your business. So no matter what's happening in the economy, no matter what's happening in the gas prices, the stock market, you're going to make it so much money in this business. It's like, okay, well, gas went up to $7 a gallon, and we just know that the business is just going to keep flowing in. So I heard this from a very wealthy man before, okay, and that he said the best investment, like while a recession is going to hit, is literally like controlling your having your own type of book of business, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? What it really requires, though, you definitely have to have some little fire and be hungry for this business at the same time. And I was definitely one of those hungry guys. I mean, because it wasn't always cut and dry for me. I started from the bottom, and I was negative. I was negative thousands. There's a one point in time in my career I was negative $100,000, and I had some success leading up to that. And right away, I fell behind in some credit cards. I survived on those credit cards, and I had about $50,000 left in my pocket, and the bank took it all to pay for that credit card bill, and I was left with zero. So I've learned a lot from that. And all I can say since then, I've learned so much in marketing. It literally has market-proofed my business. So that way my business is always thriving, even in a down market. So just because somebody else is not doing well in the marketplace doesn't mean that everybody's not doing well. And that's why I just showed you people like Rudy Kasumas and myself. Our market is only getting better and better by the day. So if you're looking to grow your business faster, get into the mortgage business, if you're not in the mortgage business, but you want to do it faster, quicker, less time, that's what we do. We offer training, coaching, mentoring for all the tools and support. But I want to point this out. This is some demographics that I came across from Freddie Mac is one of the largest. There's Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and they basically are essentially they buy about 80% of all the mortgages in the secondary market. We are considered loan originators, so we're out there originating the loans, and then we send them off to a mortgage lender that packages them all up and then sells them off to the secondary market, which is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So just imagine they represent 80% of the entire market. And this study is done by them, so they know what they're talking about. I would say there's a lot of credibility behind this. So this is not some numbers that I just made up. So for the next until 2023, the millennials, for basically 50 million millennials, right, are projected to be buying a home, whereas in 2015, 16 million millennials purchased a house, right? So just imagine that what's happening is literally right now we're getting ready for the next big wave in the purchase market and the refinance market. So when would I want to get started in the business is when things are starting to build up. If you had the secrets and the insights on how to do the business while this market is the way it is now, and it could only go up from here, and you start now, then literally sky's the limit. Because this is huge. This is huge, right? Look at, like, if you just look at what's in the past, like, just look at, the home sales, right? Up 20%. But the one right before that, young adults, they're at 32 million. That these are household, right? So 32 million households purchased last year, okay, in 2021, and the year before that was 40 million. So you can see that volume's kind of started to dip down a little bit. But what's the next big wave coming up? It's the millennials. And what's interesting about the millennials, based on Freddie Mac's study, this is not my study, they said that the millennials are, as far as like education wise, they're more educated than any other type of household demographics out there that we've seen in this country for a long time. However, what they do lack in this area is in the finance area. They do lack that. However, that's where you come in, is when you become an expert, and to become an expert, there's no time frame to do that. Like, it doesn't matter if you've been doing this for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or 40 years. Okay. The definition of an expert is not how long you've been in the business. It's really what it comes down to is what you know. And that's why it's important to get trained, coached, and mentored by people that know all that stuff, so you can tap into their experience, and therefore you're compressing time, buying time. And at that point, as long as you become that expert in their mind and you can provide that value to them, they literally will hang on to you until they're ready to buy a home. That's what makes this business so wonderful. Okay, so definitely, like, a few things that we're going to talk about right now is our mortgage system and marketing. Okay, so welcome to today's webinar here. And over the next I don't know, hour or so, we'll see how long this takes us. But in order to achieve your goals in a successful mortgage career, okay, you're going to have to learn how to maximize your results and leverage. You got to leverage it. I just talked about leverage. Like, I've got people that I've surrounded myself with when I was that up and comer, and I surrounded myself with people that I leveraged, right? I shared those stories with Rudy, Todd, Craig, and other people that that were instrumental in my early development. That people ran mega mortgage companies out there, right? Or trade on the stock market and all that good stuff. And when you start to leverage their experience, that eliminates the trying to figure out all on your own, right? So you're leveraging yourself for that knowledge that I was talking about, and with people and technology. And when you do that, oh my goodness, it's like you can really speed up time, right? So that's how you can make a leap forward in your mortgage career. And you could just be right on top of the industry with sales strategies, concepts. The amazing part of this, as long as you learn the sales, it's really just marketing. Once you learn these marketing strategies, oh my goodness, it takes no sales experience. You just need to learn what to say and how to say it. And then you're going to be able to achieve these incredible gains in earning way more money and having an abundant life. Abundant life comes with freedom. So you have that freedom mentality. You can do what you want, live what you want, buy what you want, and make income as you want, right? However, most of us don't start there. I shared the story. The guy with the hungry plate, I was like that guy, right? $100,000 of credit card debt, just lost $50,000. Oh my goodness. And at that point, I'm like, but we all deal with like these limits, right? So, but when that happened, I had to go and figure stuff out so I could break through these limits that were holding me back, right? And a lot of times we have to identify these limits, but in reality, there's no limit to what you can do. I shared this story with Rudy Kusuma. That guy's generating over $15 million, right? $15 million more, way more than that. So in gross commission checks, right? So there's no limit to this. Okay. He's pushing probably by next year $20 million. And I remember when I first met Rudy in 2012, he was pushing 250,000. You see, that was his limit. And then he figured out how to get to the next limit. And then it went from 250 to 400, and then 400 to a million, and then from million to 3 million. And those are the limits, right? Otherwise, we just snap our fingers and we just all just make the money that we want to make. So we all have these limits, but in reality, there's no limits to this. We are only limited by the limits that you place on yourself, right? And and the thing is, when we focus where we want to go and we see it materialize, that's where things really happen. If so what I'm saying is, don't focus on where you're currently at right now, okay? Because you can't change that, but we can change in the direction we want to go, right? So rule number one, don't focus on where you're at. I didn't focus where I was at when I was $100,000 in credit card debt, literally with borrowed money just to survive. My mother-in-law would bring over a 12-pack of hamburgers and a big old stack of hot dogs from Costco, and threw food on the table that way. It was just survival mode. It was very tough, because I didn't market proof my business. I've learned so much, and I'm going to share with you guys on how to market proof that business. So let's do this, for example, right over here. Okay. What do you see right over here? And just in the middle picture, let's just all focus on the middle picture right now. Top middle picture. What do you see? Write it down. Make this fun, right? Write this down. What do you think? What do you see right there? I'll give you guys a few more seconds here. What do you see? Okay. All right. So what we're going to work on is really changing your paradigm. Again, I didn't, if I couldn't change my paradigm when I had no food on the table and I had to borrow food to feed my family, and they actually brought me food too from Costco. Farmer John hot dogs, they come in a big old pack like this, big old pack. And they're like, that's your food for the next 3 weeks. And I had to tell my wife and my kids, this is what we're eating. But if I focus where I was at, if I focus on those types of things, then guess what happens? Nothing happens, right? Nothing at all. Nothing happens. So what is it, this change in paradigm? It's a shift in thinking in what you must achieve before you can impact the success of your business and your life. You're like, great, Dave. Okay, I get this. I thought I was coming on for this interview, this and that. Believe me, this is part of your interview. Like, if you want to win, you got to be around other winners. But first things first, you got to really think that it is possible, because then you start to win with them, right? So if you don't believe there's a different way, then you can't achieve it. We can't achieve getting a license, right? We can't achieve it. It's just never going to happen. But if you open up your mind and lift off that lid of box and letting your limited beliefs, right? Unleash them, let them go. Okay, so let's look at it again. I see that some of you got, all right, I got that. Okay, good job, Steve and Paul, for putting that down. It's a duck or a rabbit, right? So I like Paul's, a bunny or a duck. It's pretty close to that. But yeah, now if you weren't sure before, then you probably seen this before, or if you haven't, now you see it, right? Just imagine that's a shift in thinking. Things get crystal clear when our paradigm shifts, huh? Just imagine, like, if, I don't know where you guys are at financially, but let's say you were in my situation, when I was sharing that story with you, right? When I was negative $100,000, right? And they just took my last 50,000. Okay. I had to make sure I had the shift in thinking where I was focused on where I wanted to go, because where I needed to go, I needed to make $400,000, because that's what I was accustomed to living on. So I don't know where you guys are at. It's not the point of this. The point is wherever you're currently at right now, We have to change this little thinking. It's just a little thinking, because once the light switch goes on and somebody points things out to you, you're like, oh, I see it now. I see how to make 100,000. Whatever your goal is, it could be 50,000. You're like, oh, I see it. You see that? And that's that paradigm shift. So we're after making these little tiny paradigm shifts. And what happens is your lid starts to remove. Your lid actually goes to another level. That's like the Rudy Kasumas. Your lid goes from 250,000 to 350 to 400, right? That's that limited belief. And with that change of paradigm, that's how you go to the next level. So we got to make a dramatic shift on how we view things, right? And that's really what it boils down to. And that's paradigm. It's just how we were, things that have been said to us and what's in our mind and how we see the world really at the end of the day. And it literally blinds you of other possibilities. Huh? It's a blinder. So we want to get unblinded. We don't want any of those things holding us back. If you're looking to take on this new career, I want you guys to think as big as possible. Think big, dream big, and go after it. Okay. So if you can stare right at something, you may not see it, but let's touch on a few things right over here. Okay. So we're going to touch on really the differences, how we do business versus how most mortgage companies do business. All right. If that's okay with you guys, I'm going to touch on a few things right now. So check this out. Right over here where it says manual grant prospecting. Typically, that's what most mortgage companies have you do, right? What we do is we stop chasing prospects. We don't make a bunch of cold calls, right? We compel prospects to call you using emotional direct response advertising. What is direct response? Is they find a message and they see the message out there and it causes them to reply back to us and they want more of it, right? And then we use technology to sift and sort these leads. It could be realtor leads, buyer leads, right? And we find the most qualified leads, ready to act prospects that we want to work with. We're not saying make cold calls, do floor time, working with clients that you have to because that's your only client. With us, we want to work with prospects who want to work with you, right? They're not going to fight us on certain things. And we have to be positioned as experts so they really honor what you bring into their life and into their transaction. And when they see that, they say, wow, man, I'm so thankful that I came across Dave. Could you imagine that? They start saying, I'm so thankful I came across your name. And that's what we're after, right? So that's the old school mentality versus our mentality. I just call it the freedom mentality, right? We want to be working in this freedom mentality. Old school ways, we're wasting money on image advertising, bragging how great you are. We're just advertising, we're presenting compelling benefits to these prospects, giving them a specific and tangible reason. Specific. You see, without doing any selling, it's all in the advertising, in the messaging. And I teach you how to be that marketing expert. And it's very simple. You can copy this stuff and just post it out there, and you'd be surprised. We're not holding ineffective 3-hour open houses just to pacify the seller or the realtor involved. We're only working with those that value your services and disregard the rest, right? We want people to value us. We bring a lot to the table, and this has nothing to do with how long you've been in the business for. It's all about what you know versus what you don't know. Um, because people value your advice, would you love what you're doing then? Because people honor you? Of course you would, right? Would you do a better job if you love what you're doing more? Like, it's hard to get away from it because you're passionate about it. Because what happens is it turns into just it's fun. It's fun helping qualified, sincere clients who are loyal to you, right? And then on top of that, we're going to enjoy a rewarding personal life, run a very good business, right? All at the same time. That's what I call freedom mentality. So let's take a look at the successful definition of a mortgage career. This is mine. You have a steady stream of clients who automatically seek out your valuable services without having to do any cold prospecting. You're viewed with respect by clients who value your advice. You provide them, real good service, right? Beyond service. We call this the second mile service. Most loan officers could barely go to the first mile. But we say we want to go the second mile because it's where the second mile builds our future business. So if you want to go from zero to $0 to 100,000, 200, $300,000 in a very short period of time frame, what happens if we're focused in the second mile service, you don't need a lot of business in your first year because it's going to multiply. It's going to multiply super fast. Why? Because we share with you the strategies that we use on how to multiply that business using the second mile service. This will allow you to work a normal work week, take plenty of time off to pursue outside interests, and make a rewarding income. The question is, how do you get there? Just imagine there's a fork in the road. How do you get there, right? You're not sure which way to go. So here's the steps though. Step number one, we find the prospects. Okay. That also includes realtors to work with and home buyers. I show you strategies on how we do that on our mortgage team and how we work with real estate teams out there to send us the business, right? They literally chase us, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Realtors are chasing you. And then we convert the prospects into clients, okay? Buyers as well as realtors. And then we provide them with this exceptional service so that way they can be happy, lifelong clients. Then we leverage this one customer satisfaction so we can just get more business. How many of us want more business? More business, huh? Whether you're doing this part-time, full-time, this business you can really do either or. There's no time to this. You can work around the clock. You can work in remote locations as long as you have a connection to the internet and a Zoom account if you need a Zoom. But for training, I would definitely encourage that. But as long as you have internet connection, a cell phone, um, basically a heart to help people, and you're going to do a good job here. So these are the 6 simple steps to success on our team over here. Okay. Step number 1, I just talked about that. We just get them to raise their hands, right? Realtors, buyers, we identify themselves, who's who, and then we call them, get these prospects or like expected or call, right? No cold calling. And then we sort them out. Okay. Who's ready to do this now? Who's ready to do this later? That type of thing. We convince them to meet with us. Most of the time, we're just doing it over Zoom nowadays. Convert the prospects that we want to work with. Okay. Give them this wall service. And then we get them to give us referrals and to build our future business. Those are the 6 steps. So let's kind of go into a little bit more details on how we find these prospects. We find them. We don't cold call. We don't do current prospecting. And if you'd want to do that, that's fine. I got strategies on how to do that too. But I'm telling you, on our freedom mentality, on how we do it on our team here, we run direct response lead generators to contact us. Okay. Then we convert these prospects to clients. We're not bragging on we're number one, we're the biggest. We're not doing any of that. That doesn't drive a whole lot of business to you because people want to do business with you. We do step 3, we implement our follow-up systems, okay? And then we convert the prospects to appointments. Step number 4, we can make these compelling benefit presentations and we train you on. We got proven presentations. And if you've never done a presentation before, that's fine. I never done a presentation before either. And was I nervous? Yeah, I was nervous for the first few. And once you start doing this over and over again, you realize that nobody really knows that you're nervous or not, but it will prepare you for success, right? It's all in the preparation for success. And what I've learned over the years, I've really condensed this process down to a very short coaching time to get you prepared for that presentation. And the presentation, literally, I just tell people just read it at first. Just read the words. It's gonna be that simple. Just read the words, and the home buyers out there, they just follow along, and the realtors too. They just follow along, and you just read it, and it's just amazing. Step number 5. Step number 5. It's all about providing that wow service, right? We talked about right now. I was talking about going that second mile service is so important to achieve. And what that does is by doing that, we have a quantum leap in your business. And then we have assistants and systems that support you in that process, right? So you can just focus on what you want to do is just work with qualified, sincere clients out there. Step number 6, it's all about leverage. We talked about leverage earlier, right? This is how we build our future business. And this last step here, so we communicate with the clients to obtain testimonials, referrals to build our future business, right? This is how you can 10x your Mortgage career, 10x, go from 1 transactions to 10 your first year, 10 to 20. Before you know it, you're at 100 a year and doing only the parts of the job that you love to do. These are some 8 universal principles. Okay. So we're going to shift gears real quick. We're not going to go through all 8 right now because time. We do go over all 8. This is when I learned these 8 principles, I had a massive breakthrough in my business, but we're only going to touch on number 1 today. Okay. And number 1, prospects do not want to be sold. Not one of us. I don't care who you are. They will not want to hear what you're saying unless you tell them what they want to know. Right. So, um, why is that? Why is the prospects, they don't want to be sold, right? And that's the difference between what we do and people that don't understand marketing. I understand marketing. See, a marketer is going to build trust, whereas marketing really is there to provide benefits. Hey, I'm here to serve you. Here's the benefits of working with me. Here are the benefits of this loan here. You can do loan A or loan B. Here's the benefits of loan A, and here's the benefits of loan B. And that's it. This is what we do. We serve realtors and we serve home buyers, which are the realtor clients, right? And that's what we do here so well. And that's why I say there's no sales experience. Are they sales calls? Yes. But really, it's just marketing. And when you learn how to market yourself, then realtors out there and home buyers, they want to do business with you because they're not feeling like you're always selling them. So if you understand that, then you're going to do really well in this industry with the right training. Because without a system, right? Um, Without a system, you're going to reinvent the wheel every time, right? An effective system will save you time and money, and it's going to help you achieve consistent and predictable results. So, number 7 talks about leverage, right? So, what is the definition of leverage? Leverage is the power to maximize your results with the least amount of energy, time, and money and risk. So, you do leverage with the system, and literally, like, your income has no limits to what you want out of this. Um, So we're definitely in the marketing business. We're not in to sell anyone anything. These are mortgages, right? These mortgages, these are just imagine, like, the mortgages are the largest financial decision that anyone's going to make. Okay. So if you learn these marketing strategies that we do on our team, then we're just presenting that. That's it. This is why we could close loans super fast. Um, we get appraisal waivers. We find ways to save our clients money. We got stated income. We got a whole gamut. We got over 200 loan products, hundreds of um, investors and lenders that we work with. We got 15-minute income reviews. Okay. These are 15-minute. We just scan them in the system and it calculates all this stuff for us. And the system literally tells us what the income is. Huh? We also have good as cash offers to help the buyers win offers. We do guaranteed to close in 14 days or we'll pay a penalty of $1,000 or more. So just ways to just really beat out all the other buyers in the market. So our offer stands out like it's the best offer. At the end of the day, our mission is to help realtors increase their business from the time we start meeting with them by 50% in the next 12 months, because that's our goal. That's our vision, right? It's about elevating people's lives. If we can elevate somebody's life out there and help them make more money, how many realtors do you need to make $100,000, $300,000, $1,000,000? It just comes down to numbers. It comes down to what do you want out of it. And when I realized the people that it impacts first is you. It impacts, maybe you've got a family. I don't know your background, but it impacts you and anyone around you. The income is going to impact first, right? And that's what this is all about. So if you want to gain an unfair advantage to launch your mortgage loan originator career, adding, I don't know, 10, 15, $20,000 in the next 90 days, then you got to have the right people surrounding you, right, to make that all happen. So I believe this training and coaching is the pathway to freedom. If you want that freedom mentality, Warren Buffett said it best, the best investment you can make in yourself is you are your biggest asset by far, right? Now you don't have to depend on, you don't have to depend on, you know, a company, whether you're going to be around today or tomorrow, right? You invest in yourself. And in this market, I think it's more critical that happens than ever, especially with inflation going on, right? Would you agree? Like with all the things going on, imagine if inflation, it didn't really bother you because you made enough money. Okay, so um, what's next? I'm going to play this video so you can take a look at this right over here. This is I'm right over here, and next to me is Matt Ishbia. He's a president and CEO at UWM. And Matt, listed on the Forbes 400, I think they valued him at $3.4 billion. He started leading the company. His father owned the company, and he worked from the bottom up. Okay, until 2000, I think 15 is when he took on the position of CEO, and he grew the company rapidly fast. Okay, and then last year they already hit 9,000 employees working there. They've got a 600 salesman force, and it's all under his leadership. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Sky's the limit. Don't think small, think big, because that's what Matt thought. He was not. They were not the number one purchase lender in the country when he took took on the company. He says they weren't doing very well to be, through that. So let's take a look to see what he has to say, and he's going to share what the role is or the benefits of working for a broker versus a direct lender or a bank. Going to be, see if I can play it there. All right. Yep. I just was notified there was no audio on there. My apologies. Probably when we went on to share this thing, but let me see if I can replay that. I think there's some good information there right there. I think it was really good. So let me go back and reshare that real quick. Okay, guys. And thank you so much. I'm going to share the sound. I don't know, it says optimized video. I just check a few buttons here. All right, so let's see if we can replay that.
I'm over here with Matt Ishbia from UWM, President and CEO of UWM. Matt, can you give us like 1 to 2, 3 strategies on why a realtor should be working with a mortgage broker versus a retail or bank?
Well, the big difference is complete control, certainty, and having a local partner that you can partner with that can help you grow your business. And so brokers like yourself, you're out there helping them. It's not just, hey, you got a loan for me. I'm going to help you win, help you grow, help you succeed. At the same time, close fast, make it efficient, make it an amazing kind of experience for the consumer. So they go back to the real estate partner, they go back to you, and you do more than one loan because of that relationship.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So that's Matt Ishbia, President and CEO of UWM, and he's built an amazing company. Just dominates the mortgage industry right now, and I believe for the years to come. So he's shared some interesting numbers with us. Okay, here's where the broker community is at right now. 80% of the loans right now are being done by banks and direct lenders, and the broker community is 20%. But yet he's still dominating, right? He's number one purchase lender in the country. So it just shows you, right, how much growth opportunity is in this industry. He's projecting that the broker community is going to go from 20% to 50% over the next few years. So that means there's going to be a shift from banks, direct lenders, into the hands of people like you that are working with brokers out there versus the banks and direct lenders, right? And yes, Matt is the man. Matt is the man. So he's just an amazing guy. So just think about that, the opportunity out there. Basically, before the market crash, before this is going back in history now, there was a huge market crash, one of the biggest crashes in the country. Um, and that time, the brokers were right around 50 to 60% of the market share. Think about that. It's huge, right? And it dribbled down to very like almost nothing. But Matt and his company has been behind this big movement supporting brokers. And now they're up to 20% market share. He's already valued at $3.4 billion. He already is the number one purchase lender, but he's not stopping. He's equipping, he's training brokers, like people like myself and their agents and their team on how to beat out, like how to just really dominate in their marketplace. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I find it very helpful knowing people like Matt that's behind our movement, right? And that's what we do. So if you're not licensed now and you want to start this, okay, there is some requirements to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just touch on this real quick. You need 20 hours. Okay. The question comes up, hey Dave, I'm in Michigan. Can I do loans in California? Yes. You can get the NMLS license and just get licensed in California, right? It's that easy. We do loans anywhere. Like I do loans in Washington. Years ago, I used to do a lot of loans in Maryland. We're licensed in Texas. So I can do loans right here, right? So you can do loans anywhere, right? So that's how that works. 20 hours. You do the 20 hours. That part, you just go through it. It's like a kind of open book. You take the crash course, basically. Boom. You finish your test. It's open book. It's like they test you a few questions through the process, and then you can sign up for the state or this federal test, right? The SAFE NMLS test, right? So once you sign up for that, that's when you really want to study for, and you pass that. And then once you pass that, that becomes now your license to work in this business, right? So if that's something that you're interested in doing, then go to topmortgagecareers.com. Okay, if that's something that you like to do, I just put the link right there, and you can see more about that, right? What's the cost for that? The cost runs right around, for the 20 hours, $349. And anyone that signs up today, I'm going to give you my flashcards that I use to pass the test. Okay. And I couldn't put the value of these flashcards, but I know they have a lot of value because it really helped me pass as well as other people pass. So yeah, these flashcards, I used to write these flashcards on index cards, and what I did is I just I put them on a PowerPoint presentation, and it's right there, so you can go through that and really help you pass your test. And it's going to be very, very helpful. So just for signing up, I'm going to give you guys a free copy of that. And then if you want more training, there's more stuff that's in that website there that you can take a look at, and then go from there. So if you have a chance to take a look at that, if you're licensed and you're like, hey Dave, I'm interested in your team, like, and get going and stuff like that, then just reach out to me. Okay, I'm gonna give you my phone number here. You guys ready to really get started? I'm gonna just give you my direct line here, 6163. Okay, there it is. You could just reach out to me. I will be in a meeting. I got a few more Zooms coming up right now, but I'll be available after 3 o'clock today. So just call me, and we'll just talk to see where you're currently at, where you want to go. And then with the ones that want to take that next step, okay, then I strongly encourage you, when I was doing this, I literally had to borrow money. I had to borrow money, thousands of dollars, and I lost a lot of money, right? I had to figure what I was going to do, so I literally had to borrow money to do all this stuff. And I've quickly learned the material from other people that trained and coached me, right? And then I paid them back on my first deal. It was that simple, right? So, you know, The link did not work. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Thank you so much for pointing that out here. Let's see here. Did not work on my end here. So let's take a look at it here. I know. I think I know why. Because I have to put. I'll repost it right now. Thanks so much for. Yep, that was it. Yeah, good question, John. Does it make a difference? No, like doesn't matter at all. So if you're in Florida, believe me, like you can do loans in California, you could do loans in Texas. Um, if you get your license, I would start off with the California license first. There's just higher property values, right? Does that make sense? Um, and in Texas, they got lower property values, but like businesses operates as normal. It's very, very common in the mortgage industry that people do work out of their area too as well. So it's super common. So I was able to pull it up, but I just click on that link and then you'll find it like that. Go ahead and watch a little short video on that too. You could take a look, learn more about myself. So you get everything for $349. You get all the hours that's required, right? And you sign up today. Basically, when you sign up today, I'll give you those free flashcards and stuff like that to help you with that process there. But if you want more than that, then just go through this. I mean, if you want more and you're like, hey, Dave, I just want more stuff, but I'm not ready to jump on your team, that's fine. But you want more coaching and training, there's more of this stuff too. Like I have thousands and thousands of hours of coaching and training loan officers in the industry, and you can take a look at what you can get from working with us or getting the stuff for pennies on the dollar. So if you're in Michigan, I'm curious if I have to get licensed in the state you are in. Great question, John. No, you do not. The NMLS is it like covers the entire 50 some states, right? All the states in the country. And then you just have to do the hours in the state that you want to work in. Okay. So therefore you could be in Florida. You don't need to do business in Florida. If you like, hey, I want to just do business in California, you can be in Florida. Like to me, I'm not licensed in Wyoming, right? But if I want to go move to Wyoming tomorrow and still do business in California and Texas and Washington, I can do that. I hope that kind of cleared up that question there. Yes.
Oh yeah, so I understand that. It's just that some of the businesses out there only are licensed in certain places as like a brokerage, and they need to be licensed in the same ones as well to work with them. So are you just saying like this is a coaching, mentoring thing where I can just do my own thing with your help?
You can do that too. That's what this next page is for. But if you want to be part of the company, yes. If you want to just, we are licensed in California and Texas. We got plenty of business right now, like for that, right? But if there's somebody out there that wants to do business in Florida, then it's very, it's a 6-month process for me to go get licensed in Florida, if that, like 3 to 4 months, and we can be licensed in Florida. But for the most part, to answer your question is, yeah, if you want to just handle the information that we have here, it's pretty much pennies on the dollar, and work for somebody else, you can do that too. Did I answer your question there?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you work for Freedom Choice, do you provide us with the training to create leads? Yes, that's correct, Paul. That's correct. Yes. But there's, if so if you aren't from California, can you still work for Freedom Choice Lending? Yes, you can. Okay, so that was another question. Is there a cost for this training? No, we train every day. There is a little startup cost though for to receive, if you want to receive leads. So if you just want the training, there's no problem. But it runs about $300 just to be on the same page as us, because there is a CRM that you need to get plugged into. This is so you can start receiving the leads and stuff like that, right? So there's a CRM. and there's also a few other things that we have, right? So it's $300 for that. So for the software programs and stuff like that, right? That's correct. Okay, so with that though, not only you're going to get all the training, you're going to get all the other good stuff, but on top of that, we do have an overflow right now of realtors that we work with. I have over 250 realtors that we work with, and for me, I can find like I could work with 10 to 15 really, at one point in time. So we are partnered up with some of the fastest growing real estate companies in the country right now that I shared with you earlier. So we do definitely need more people to help us with that. So if that's interesting to you, then yeah, just definitely reach out to me on that as well. Any other questions? Any questions on anything else? All right. So essentially what we're doing is we're building a business within a business. If that's something that, you know, if that's something that strikes your nerves, that you want to go for it, right? Then definitely reach out. But yeah, there's a little cost to doing this. How are you going to receive the flashcards? Yeah, once you sign up, I'll get you flashcards right out to you guys. We'll get you registered in the class and get you going on this thing. By the time you're done, I've known people that did this in 30 days and they hit the ground running. And then they join our team over here or through the coaching. I'll show you exactly what you need to do. Okay, exactly what you need to do step by step. So, how many BITs? What is that? I don't know if you can. Not too sure what what you meant by that, Juliang. But yeah, if you any other questions with that? Any questions, guys? You guys, did you guys find like taking just as far as like some of the marketing stuff that like even if you're not ready to do this right now, I truly believe just the stuff that I covered right now could even help you in your career, whatever direction you're going. We just have to learn how to be more marketers. When we become more marketers, it's like learning what words to say that causes people want to do business with you. It's that simple. You know, like me talking to Matt Ishbia, when I first started in the mortgage business, I was surrounded in my early 20s with people that ran the companies like Matt Ishbia runs today, and they would invite me into boardroom meetings. And I had no college degree. They actually didn't hire me at first. They said I could not hire because they required a 4-year degree and I didn't have the experience. But I didn't give up. I didn't focus on that. I kept on pursuing it. Before you know it, 2-3 years later, I'm surrounded by the people that are running these billion-dollar companies and the publicly traded companies as well. And they mentored me. I was like, this is amazing. I could not believe it. And I was like 22, 23 years old. So I've gotten some really good coaching and mentorship early on in my life, in my career. And what it really boils down to is everyone that's here, we're all humans. We're all the same. I'm the same. I'm no different than you guys. All it just comes down to is what you know and what you don't know. It's that simple. So if you guys if any more comments or anything like that, all right, cool. Thank you. Thank you. How many bips can we make? We'll definitely talk about that. We got it really boils down to we got in-house leads, right? And versus your own production. Okay. So if you got your own production, then we got stuff like that, right? And then we got so what we do on your in-house, on your own production, it's just 75%. If it just comes down to I'll show you how it comes down to bips because I know that's just the way the industry talks, but I'll just use percentages because if you're not really familiar, it really boils down to 75%. And taxes are withheld. So if it's a $10,000 commission check, you're going to gross $7,500. Okay. Okay. So, and I would say that's the average. Not in California, our average is more than that because, loan amounts are a little bit higher. Our average loan amount is probably about 700,000-800,000. We, have a very aggressive comp plan. On top of that, our rates are extremely low. So you heard it from Matt. He's the one that said it, low interest rates, fast service. This is how we grow our business. So on top of that, everyone gets compensated very, very well. And then on the in-house leads, the split is we take a percentage off the top to invest right back in the marketing, and then we split 50-50, right? So pretty simple off that. All right, did I answer any else's questions? Everybody else's questions there? All right. All right. Well, again, I hope this was your worth time, Wild. If this is something that you're very serious about doing, trust me, take that next step. If you're not licensed, just go for it. You know, you're not going to know until you take that first step, and then just go all in on this thing and just do not look back. Well, that's one thing about me. Like I realized I like sharing my story. You know, I got more stories because there's a period of my life that was super, super challenging. But I just shared you just one story right now. But I don't look back at it and dwell on it. I look back at it to share, to inspire, to hope to change somebody's mindset to, hey, you know what? I'm not stuck where I'm at. I'm not stuck, right? You know, since when I really had this major shift in my business and then I turned it into a marketing business, since then I've traveled the country. I've been on stages where there's thousands of people in front of me, just giving my testimonial, encouraging people, stuff like that. So it's all about like, you know, and that's what I like to do. This is what I'm passionate about, and I just happen to be the mortgage business. That's, you know, so I just feel like I'm being used this way to help others, right? And that's my hope. That's my hope. That's my hope for you guys. So I do know those. When I learned some of this marketing things, I realized sometimes like, well, of course I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to come off salesperson. But now you just have to figure out, how do you become a marketer? That's your main focus right now, is how to become a marketer. Even if you don't go after the loan business, right? If you don't go into this business, but it's how you market yourself. This is how I market myself. Remember when I first got involved with the my mortgage career, it was like 1996 when I went to this mortgage company and they turned me down. My first resume I sent into them, and I saw the ad. If you know, if you've been around, if you know what the penny saver, they used to call it the penny saver. So the penny saver, I saw this help wanted ad. I'm like, oh, great. And in the penny saver, it says basically 4-year degree or 5 years experience. And I'm 20 years old. And I'm like, I don't have either one of them. You know what I mean? So I still, back then we faxed in our resumes. I still faxed it in, you know, and I didn't hear back from them. I'm like, gosh, man. And they finally sent me like this little postcard in the mail saying, thank you for a resume, but, you know, nicely worded, but you don't qualify. And I'm like, man, I want to get in that company. Like, what do I have to do? And finally I got into the company. I went through a temp agency, and the temp agency hired me. And then the rest was history. And then 2 years after I got hired, I'm getting promoted and I'm being surrounded by the people like the Matt Ishbias of this company. And it's just amazing. It's just really what it comes down to, is just being around the right people at the right time. When you do that, sky's the limit. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you guys jumping online, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have a great day.